But when it comes to how and when your money is spent is not always as simple as a vote at the national level. When interest rates go down, Americans spend more, boosting the economy. With increased demand, inflation goes up. So the feds bump up interest rates to try and cool inflation, and we start the balancing thing all over again. Well, not knowing exactly how much the Federal Reserve is going to drop those rates in a couple of weeks is one reason economists say employers are holding off on hiring right now. According to today's jobs report, the economy added 142,000 jobs last month. That's up 89,000 in July, but it's a bit more modest than people expected, and unemployment is rather steady. So here in Minnesota, we wanted to ask the question, what can you do to navigate in an uncertain job market? Danny went to check it out.
Jana, for the second month in a row, the jobs report federally showed a slowdown in hiring. Now all eyes are on the Federal Reserve as they prepare to cut interest rates later this month.
More than just data, the monthly jobs report tells a story about the American workforce.
Let's not get lost in the numbers that these are people who are taking care of their children, they're taking care of their adult parents who are aging, and these are our neighbors and these are our family.
Paul DeBeddings knows the ins and outs of job recruiting.
It's nerdy stuff.
As the founder of Minnesota Headhunter, LLC.
What was your initial reaction to the jobs report?
I think it was okay. This one was a little bit less than. There were some revisions from the last couple of months.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the U.S. added 142,000 jobs last month, and unemployment dipped slightly to 4.2%. But these figures clearly indicate a slowdown in hiring compared to the post-COVID boom that began in 2021.
It's not as busy as it was. You can't keep going at that high of a number forever. This is actually fairly normal.
Yeah, I think you have a really interesting perspective because you kind of can see it from both the company and the employee side. What do you think the mood is like for those that are looking for employees right now?
I think companies are doing a bit of a wait and see. They're waiting to see what happens with the election. They're waiting to see is the Federal Reserve going to start lowering rates?
Good morning, everyone.
In a speech Friday at Notre Dame, Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller said the Fed is prepared to lower interest rates at this month's meeting, and that more cuts might be necessary too.
Now, while I don't see the recent data pointing to recession, I do see some downside risk to employment that I will be watching closely. But at this point, I believe there is substantial evidence that the economy retains the strength and momentum to keep growing.
The country is not in a recession right now, but that word makes its way into a lot of conversations these days.
But we have been in a recession of momentum. We've been in a recession of sort of emotions, right? We're all a little scared. We're all a little uncertain. The Fed reducing rates will give us some sense of the borrowing becomes a little bit easier, both for consumers and for companies.
Given all these dynamics, it's a rather interesting time to be looking for a job.
What would be your biggest advice to somebody in this job market right now?
Everyone's resume should have been newly written, updated in the last year. And if they haven't, they should do it this weekend. This market isn't going to last forever either. And to be ready for those opportunities.
Federal Reserve leaders have not said how much they might lower interest rates this month, but most experts in the industry expect a quarter-point drop. Interest rates have not changed in more than a year after the Fed hiked them considerably after COVID to slow inflation. Jana.
And as Danny, you and I were talking about today, the stock market is reacting to all of this, also unsure of what to do. So it's really anybody's guess. Yes, a rate cut. Some are saying it should be a half point. I don't even know who to trust. Maybe everybody's guessing?
Yes, and then there's a possibility it could be a quarter point, and then the next cut could be a half point. So we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, Danny, thanks so much. We appreciate it.